everybody, it's me, Margaret, and I actually have something new and different to show today. So I think we'll jump right into yarn first. Okay, outside. Outside always seems to have the best light, doesn't it? Everything seems clearer in the camera and the colors are truer. So what have I been working on? I added this pom-pom to this very plain hat. That's one thing that I did. We talked about this hat last week as being an ideal thing to include with charity for people who need to get a second hat, you know, for the kid who lost the first hat, things like that. But also you have to remember that these very basic styles are preferable on so many occasions, because remember, not everybody has the same tastes. So sometimes simple is better. And this one kind of makes me think of a team sport type hat for some reason. No, not the dusty green, because I don't think anybody has a dusty green for, you know, a team color, but I think the mixed color pom and the one stripe makes me think of that for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, great way to use up your scraps is to do a basic hat for charity work. Now, last week I also showed you this hat, which is Big Girl Hat number 1 by Laurie, Laliberte. I think I'm saying that correctly. If you did not catch last week, or if you can't remember, quick refresher, this hat makes up very large. At least it did for me. Now, I made this hat several years ago for a friend of mine who was dealing with cancer at the time, and I knew that ahead of time, so I altered this pattern. There were 12 in here. It was written for 12. I did 10, and then I completely left out a whole section of single crochet down here. Now the hat was designed to turn up like that, but that's the way I got it to fit beanie style. And I point out beanie style because this hat was actually designed to be a flat top hat. Now, her instructions tell you to use a size I9, which is a 5.5 millimeter, and switch to a G6, which is a 4.0 millimeter, down at the brim. And that's exactly what I did. It is a number 4 worsted, so well, that's exactly what I did here. It's a number 4 worsted, and that makes sense, right? But using that, this does not stay flat, which is what I think she intended the design to do. So I started playing around with it, and I got out a G hook, which is 4 millimeter, and I came out with this. Isn't that adorable? Now I followed the pattern exactly this time. I did 12. I didn't eliminate anything. All the rows are there, and all the sections are there, and I think it came out just great. It fits. Everything is wonderful. So what that tells me, I think, is that this designer just happens to have a very tight hand, a very tight gauge when she crochets. And so while it worked for her, it did not work for me. So I tend to be sort of an average gauge crocheter, maybe a little loose, but very rarely. Usually when I follow patterns, they come out to size in crochet, that is. Every now and then I get one that's a little bit too large, so I may be on the loose side. So that's all for that. And I made an Angry Birds hat. Do you remember when these were all the rage, back when everybody was playing the game all the time? Well, now there's a resurgence thanks to the movie, and we did see the movie, and I thought it was adorable. So I came home and was so inspired, and I made this hat. Now what this pattern is actually a suggestion by Repeat Crafter Me. What she did was used her own hat pattern down here, because you could use any, and then she linked to another person who did the features. And so I really liked what Sarah had done, Repeat Crafter Me. You know I'm a big fangirl, and so I copied hers and what she did. Now the problem is that I'm not good at sewing things on. I've got to come up with a better way for me to do that, because I think I've got it placed exactly like I like it. And then after it's all done, it's like, do what? I have crazy eyes. You see, he's not angry, he's crazy. So, So I think what I'm going to probably have to do is use fabric glue to put mine in place just like I like them. Let it sit there for a little while to dry, maybe, you know, I don't know, what, 15, 20 minutes, and then pick it up and sew the pieces on. Because I'm just not good at this. I mean, I honestly thought that I had his eyes just like I like it, and that, which should have been more up here, like he's kind of looking like, you know, like looking up at the sky and making a grimace. But it didn't come out that way. But it's close enough. You can tell he's an angry bird. Has braids down here in the black. So I really like that. Now I will link to, well, I'll just link to both of these patterns. I used the puppy pattern, right, that Repeat Crafter Me's puppy pattern, just followed those instructions for that. And then you'll need the link for these features if you wanted to make this particular one. However, Google and Pinterest will lead you to a whole lot of other styles. I might like to do the yellow one and the black one too. I don't know, but these two are just making me smile these days. I just need some quick and easy charity crochet right now to until things settle down a bit. But isn't that cute? Alright, so the craft room design saga continues. I have a few parameters that I need to meet. One of which is we don't want to do any built-in cabinetry or anything like we had in our old house. Reason being is we really don't know how long we're going to stay in this house. So let's just have things that are relatively inexpensive, easy to take with us, that type of thing. All right, number two, I have to accommodate all the crafts that I do, which is really weird because I never thought of myself as a crafter, but apparently I'm becoming one. All right, so we know we have our yarn. Sewing is another thing. I don't sew a lot, but anyway, that's still something that we need to consider. I have a lot of paper, lots of different types of paper, because I used to be a desktop publisher once upon a time, and now I use that paper for my silhouette and things like that. So we have that, and then of course office supplies, because I'm first and foremost a computer person, and so I have a lot of regular office supplies and then computer supplies that I want to keep up with. And then there's the YouTubing, which involves the lighting and my tutorial supplies, how I set things up if I ever want to show you something from a bird's eye view, and things like that. So I have a lot of different odd things that I need to organize in this room, and it needs to be something that I want to walk into. Right now it's just a mess. I don't like it in there. I don't want to be in there. So I am creating an environment that I want to be in. You got it? Okay, so I finally thought to myself, you know, I think I need some more of those cubbies. So Big Lots happens to have a sale right now on those very same cubbies that I bought before. And these are buy one, get one 50% off. So I have an idea. I'm going to see if they carry them. If they do not have them in stock, then I can order them and still get the same deal. So that's good to know. So I'm off to see what's available, and cross your fingers that this works out. Oh, and I'm also on a hunt for something else that can be used for my green screen setup, but I don't know yet. I'm just looking. So let's see what happens. Well, that's disappointing. I needed this one, but they don't have any more of them left, so it looks like I'm gonna have to order them. So I asked, and look, dun da da, there's the two that I needed. Progress. This is good. So this time I was lucky to have help. He's the master at putting things together. So we're making progress, right? This works, don't you think? Now right now the baskets are holding different types of supplies, and I don't know if you can see very well, but there are some faux books, and they open up and they have things inside of them too. Now this setup, the way I've got things arranged and all, it probably won't stay that way. I was leaving spaces for things I still have yet to unpack. All my knickknacks and things like that have been pushed to the side. I didn't unpack those because they were not priorities, you know. So I just left them in boxes and pushed them out of the way. So I have to get all those out and decide what's going here, what's going where, because I really don't have a whole lot of places, and some things are going to have to be put back in boxes, which breaks my heart. But, you know, the old house just had so many of those built-ins. So I was leaving a space for Kristen's teapot, and Cora sent me a mug that I always keep with my stuff. And anyway, I don't know how much of that's going to stay. I only have Maggie up. I need to find pictures of my boys so I can put them on there too. But anyhow, that's that. I think it came out pretty good. Now, if you look under here, I didn't get too fancy. What I did was get 4 milk crates and a board, all of these that I already had. That's the computer over there that I'm using for a network server. The printer, which is in a little table over there in the corner. But for the most part, I'm becoming more functional now. So I have these gardenias out here that just smell heavenly. Some of them are starting to turn yellow. Blooms are beginning to fade on these, but they still smell heavenly regardless. So as I'm clipping them back, because they tell you to trim them so that it remains a nice big full shape and then continue to give off a lot of blooms, I can't bear to throw away what I trim. So I'll bring them inside and use them as a natural air freshener. So see, I made myself a little bouquet, and here they sit, and it just smells divine in here now. And I mean, seriously, the whole room. I mean, as you come down the hall, that's that direction back there, it's too dark to show you what it is, but it is just, you can just smell it. It's so nice. So here's a bouquet that had been in the bathroom downstairs. It still smells heavenly, but it just doesn't look so pretty. So I guess my next craft would be to learn how to properly dry flowers. But in the meantime, if you just go to the bathroom in the dark, you'd never know the difference. Last week I asked you what this gangly bush was that was in my yard, and I had plenty of replies. Just right here, I'll put in the word rosemary in my comments. And you can see how many people helped me out. So I think it's safe to assume that rosemary is that bush. And oh my goodness, it just smells wonderful. Several of you told me that if you pet it, you can get the smell off on your hands. And that's how I discovered it when I was saving that poor pasta that it was bumping into. And I was moving it and chopping it, and my hands just smelled wonderful. Oops, now we're getting into rosemary person. But I had plenty of responses, and I thank y'all because I knew just what to look up after your help. I also got tons of suggestions on the way people like to use rosemary when they cook, so that was great. But this one is the most unique. Connie Eric says, well, I guess you've discovered you have a rosemary bush. If you take the stems and soak them in water, then use them for skewers and put shrimp on them and grill them, they are wonderful. And I could see where this would work because we buy cedar skewers a lot, and it kind of just gives you a teeny tiny taste to your food. But Connie, I would assume that we need to peel these stems and then soak them in water. I don't know anything about the bark. I don't know. I'm kind of picturing what you might buy. And then, not related to the rosemary at all, but another super idea came from Saphira4Q. She was commenting on my, I think it's the last Dollar Tree video that I did. I had the over-the-door hooks, and she says that she uses an over-the-door hook in her purse. She puts one in her purse and keeps it handy, and they're very useful at fairs and concerts for holding your purse and or shopping bags off the floor of the outhouse and public restrooms. Absolutely. You know how nasty those porta potties are. So that's a good idea. Thanks, Saphira. Just out of curiosity, what does the color and lighting and everything look like in here? I mean, are colors showing up true? Ooh, that looks pretty good in the viewfinder. My washed out I don't know, but soon it's going to be really hot outside, and I don't want to sit outside with all these warm and toasty items in the 100-degree heat. So we have to figure out how to make a better inside filming location. Now hang on, don't let the music fool you. I have a little vlogging to do about my accidental mountain climbing. Sunday of Memorial Day weekend, we went to Stone Mountain with our newly acquired season passes. This is the largest relief sculpture thing in the world, but besides that, it's a big national park with a lot of things to do. There's a sky ride up to the top of the mountain, and a train, and hiking trails, and a pretty elaborate laser light show. But that weekend it was pretty crowded, so we chose the goofy golf. And it was themed like the old country south, and we had nice people both in front of us and behind us, but we had a good time. I was messing with the camera and I totally missed it.
Get it up there, it'll go down.
That's funny, but you did well. Okay, I did really well on this hole. I got a hole in one. Yeah, the breeze is nice. Thomas chose this trail. What's it called? Cherokee Trail. We don't know anything about it, so we have to learn. They didn't tell me that this is up the mountain we were traversing. Can't really tell it, but we've been climbing steadily up. Yeah, this is what they're making me do. But wait, there's more. Where are they taking me? Well, surely it's closed in the dark, right? Oh, thunder, that's nice. Believe it or not, we're still not at the top. Look at those people. You know what this is? A gum tree.
Oh, you put money on there.
Well, why would you put your money up there? Oh, and there's thunder.
Yeah.
Yay! The rain held off till we were safely in our car, and we all lived happily ever after. So that's all for this week. Hope to see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.